Hello, yogis. Welcome back to the mat. Today we are going to spend some time releasing tension from our hips and our low back. You're in for a treat. And because it's a gentle practice, I've got on a little bit of frankincense mixed with some Northern Lights black spruce. I think all essential oils are really wonderful at pulling you into the moment, but for some reason, specifically these two for me, are so grounding, and it's just something that I like using for a more calming practice. So, with that being said, make any adjustments that you need. If you want to grab your support, if you want to grab your oils, if you don't have them, no worries. You can still enjoy this practice without. And then come to your mat. We're going to stop to start today. So make your way down onto your back. If you have low back discomfort, then bend your knees. Let the soles of your feet be nice and wide and your knees knocked together. Alternatively, you might place something underneath your knees to relieve the tension on your low back. If you do not experience low back discomfort, just send your legs out long, let them be wide, your feet splay open to the sides. You might reach under your body and move your glutes out of the way. Allow your shoulder blades just to gently reach towards one another. Find length in the back of your neck. And lastly, send your arms out wide. Let your palms face the sky. Take a moment to settle. Let the back of your body become heavier, heavier, heavier. Soften through your face, your eyes, your jaw. And just start to welcome a smooth and slow breath. Fill your belly all the way as you inhale. Maybe you have a soft sigh out your mouth. 2 more, just like that. And after that last sigh, start to wiggle your toes. Open and close your hands, roll your wrists. And then bend your knees, send the soles of your feet skyward. Reach up to the sky with your hands. Just roll your wrists, roll your ankles. Tiny little activation of our belly here. Don't worry, I won't make you work out your abs today. And then bend your knees, hug them into your chest. Pull on your knees so that you create a little bit of compression at the front of your hips. So right here, you won't be able to pull any closer. Feel that compression, and then at the same time, massage your low back. Just find a little sway from side to side. You might stay just like this, or you might reach your nose up towards your knees and squeeze your legs with your arms. Just rounding the spine. If you're lifted, set your shoulders back down. Hold onto your shins just below your kneecaps and send your knees out wide. It's really important to pull your shoulders down to the mat. Find a lightness in your chest. And then pull your knees down, actively creating a little bit of strength, a little activation in your arms. So keep your elbows bent, pull down. You'll feel that same compression in the front of your hips, maybe a little stretch in the back of your hips or low back. And then find a gentle sway from side to side. Send your breath to your inner thighs and groin. And then if you'd like a little more, send the soles of your feet skyward. Take your peace fingers and hold on to your big toes. Option to find stillness or a sway. Become aware of your upper body once again. If in lifting the soles of your feet skywards, you created a lot of crunching and tension in the upper body, then go back to that first variation. If you're here, pull your shoulders down, puff up your chest. Notice that sensation in the hips. Just send your breath there. One more full inhale. And slow exhale as you release your feet or your knees. Hold on to just your right knee and set the left sole of your foot down on the earth. Cross your right ankle over top of your left thigh. Take a moment to press your right knee away from your body. Notice any sensation that's crept into your right hip. Not that it's bad, just be aware of how that feels. You can absolutely stay here if this feels really wonderful for you, or you can reach your right fingers in between your thighs and grab the back of your left thigh or the front of your left shin. Now notice if your neck is coming off the mat to reach for something, stay on that low setting where you can relax your neck, relax your shoulders, and then just bend your arms to pull your legs in where you want them until you feel that stretch in your right hip. You might want to flex your right foot, pull your toes towards your knee, just activating a little bit of the muscles around your knee to protect it from any pain. Inhale, send your breath into your right hip. Exhale, bend your elbows, pull your left leg in. Big breath in. Exhale, pull. One more, just like that. And then release your left foot down. Keep your right foot where it is. But press into your left foot, lift your hips up, send your entire pelvis over to the right side of your mat and set it back down, and then let your legs fall to the left. We do that shift with our hips so that when we let our legs come to the left, we're actually up on the left side of our hip rather than creating an uncomfortable twist. And then send your arms out wide. You might enjoy a cactus or a T. Notice that stretch in your armpits, your chest, maybe even your biceps, your upper arms, and then look over your right shoulder. It might feel really good for you just to hold on to the outside of your right knee. You can uncross your legs if that feels better. Just learn how to honor your body, listening to its little cues, all the little messages that we get. Then continue sending your inhale down your spine. Feel that expansive stretch in the right side of your body. And as you exhale, just welcome a little softness into your muscles, melting a little more. One more full inhale. Exhale, let it out. Bring your gaze back through center. And then both of your knees. Let your hips find the middle of the mat. And just pause in stillness with your knees either knocking together or your legs can be out long. And in your stillness, see if you can notice a difference from one side of your body to the other. Bend your knees, hug them into your chest once again. Take a moment to sway from side to side. Then hold on to your kneecaps just below, or your shins rather, just below your knees. And draw large circles with your knees. Let them fall out and away from one another. And slowly come back together. And switch directions. Last full circle here. Then pause with your knees together. Take a moment to massage your low back from left to right. Hold onto your left knee. Set the right sole of your foot down on the earth. Cross your left ankle over top of your right thigh. And then actively press your left knee away from your body. Notice that sensation in the left hip. It might be very different than the right. It might be the same. That's okay. And you might stay here, or you might reach your left hand in between your legs and grab the back of your right thigh or the front of your right shin. Pull your left toes towards your knee, flexing your foot, and lengthen through the back of your neck. Send every inhale to your left hip, and with your exhale, pull your legs into your body. So finding a bit of action in your arms while we're relaxing through our legs. Big breath in, notice that expansive stretch. Exhale, last pull. Set your right foot down, keep your left leg where it is. Press into the sole of your right foot, lift your hips, send your entire pelvis over to the left and set it down. And then let your legs fall to the right. Option to make any little adjustments that you might need, perhaps uncrossing your legs, holding on to your left knee, whatever it is that you need. And then find your slow breath. Send each inhale to the left side of your body. Just welcome a little softness with each exhale. Last big breath in and slow breath out. Bring your gaze back through center. Bring your legs back through center. And then let your knees go out wide. The soles of your feet come together in a reclined cobbler's pose. So for me, this always feels a little bit uncomfortable on my hips. So I create fists with my hands. And I just place them underneath my legs, close to my hips. It just provides a little bit of support for your legs, taking off some of the tension in the socket of your hip. Just pause here for a few rounds of breath. One more full inhale. Let it go. And then use your hands to help your knees come back together. Slide your legs out long. Rise up onto your elbows, and then your hands come to a seated position. Wiggle your glutes out of the way. Find your sit bones. And then your legs can be out long. There's no rule that says you can't bend your knees. So if it's really tight at the back of your legs, you can absolutely bend your knees. Flex your feet and then flex them so hard that you're actually lifting your heels off the earth for a moment. You can bring your hands behind you. Let your chest be nice and proud. Big breath in. Relax your legs down. Let your ankles be floppy. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, flex your feet. Pull your toes towards your face. Lift your heels off the earth. Big breath in. Exhale, relax. Begin to walk your hands down your body. Now it's really important that you find length in your spine, and then you bring your belly button to your spine and kind of tuck it in so it's out of your way. So big breath in, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, begin to fold forward. Reach for any place on your legs that's available for you. So you might hold on to your knees, your shins, ankles, or perhaps the bottom of your feet. And then think about sending the crown of your head towards your toes rather than your face towards your knees. So going out and away is a very different sensation in the back of your body than it is to simply crunch down. Every inhale, find length. You might pull your crown towards your toes. Every exhale, find a little more depth. 2 more rounds. Last one. Release your hold. Slowly rise up. Swing your legs off to one side and come to a tabletop position. Let your knees be underneath your hips. Let your hands be underneath your shoulders. Spread your fingers wide. Curl your toes under. Keep a bend in your knees. Lift your hips. Find length in your spine and your side body. Take a moment to bend and straighten into your legs. You might bend just one knee. Send a full inhale to the back of your straight leg. Exhale, switch. Big breath in. Exhale, bend both knees and look towards your fingers as you start to go for a slow walk to the top of your mat. Arrive with your feet about hip distance apart. Very generous bend in your knees. Keep your fingers tented on the earth. Straighten just your left leg. Bring your right shoulder towards your right knee. And then reach your left fingers alongside your ear. And it's okay if your left leg is not completely straight. Open your left side body to the sky. You might even look up underneath your armpit. Big breath into the back of your left leg. Exhale, come back through center. Both knees are bent. Straighten just your right leg. Reach your right fingers overhead. Open your right ribs to the sky. Big breath in. Exhale, come back through center. Take hold of both elbows with opposite hands. Transfer the weight of your body into the balls and toes of your feet. Send your breath to your upper back. Sigh it out. Slow breath in. Let it go. And release your elbows one vertebra at a time. Rise up. Roll your shoulders as you arrive. And then just take a moment to pretend you're 5 years old again. Keep your hips still, your knees still, and just sway your arms from side to side. It's really important that your low body is stationary here. What happens when we move our hips out of the way from side to side with our upper body, we're actually putting our knees at risk of a little injury. So just find that stability in your low body. Squeeze your muscles. Don't be afraid to get a little forceful with your arms. 2 more times each side. Finish up. Stand in the middle. Shake out your arms. Roll your shoulders. And then take a moment to heel toe your feet a little bit closer together. Let your big toes touch. Find a little space between your heels. We're going to come into a little bit of a challenge here. So inhale your fingers overhead. Exhale, sink back into a chair. Squeeze your legs together. The weight of your body is in your heels, so you should be able to wiggle your toes, and then just sit your hips as low as they'll go. Let your arms reach out wider than your shoulders to give yourself a little bit of space. Think about peeling your heart high. Big breath in. Exhale, fold.
Inhale, slide your hands up your shins, find a halfway lift.
Straight legs, straight spine. And then notice that your shoulder blades come together. Transfer the weight of your body into the balls and toes of your feet. Send your next breath to the back of your hamstrings, the back of your thighs. Stay for your exhale. One more breath in. Exhale, fold. Plant your fingers, step your left foot back, your knee can find the earth. And then take a moment to walk your hands up on your right thigh. Let your hips be really heavy. Soften through your shoulders. Big breath into the front of your left hip. Slow breath out. One more inhale. Exhale, lean forward, plant your fingers, step your right knee back as well, and then just lower all the way down onto your belly. Take a moment to press into your palms, squeeze the muscles of your bum, lift up into a baby cobra. If you'd like a little bit more, right away you can go ahead and just straighten through your arms. Keep a slight engagement of the muscles of your bum, so that you're just stretching the front of your hips, your abdomen, front of your body. Send your breath there. Exhale, lower all the way down. Press into your palms and your knees, rise into your table. Take a moment just to sway your hips from side to side. And then curl your toes under, keep a bend in your knees, lift your hips nice and high, pedal out your legs. Full inhale through your nose. Slow exhale. Look towards your hands. Start to go for a nice slow walk to the top of your mat. End with your feet about hip distance apart. This time our fold will be a little more active. Take your hands and slide them underneath your feet so that your toes reach towards your wrist crease. And then pour the weight of your body into the balls and toes of your feet. Let your head get completely heavy. Give it a little shake. Big breath in. Pull your crown towards your toes. Exhale, think about straightening your legs, even if they don't go all the way. That's okay. Slow breath in. Exhale, lift your sit bones. One more. Bring the weight of your body back into your heels. Bend your knees. Release your hands. Inhale, one vertebra at a time. Rise up. Roll your shoulders as we arrive. And then heel toe your feet to touch. Big toes are touching, a little space between your heels. Inhale your arms overhead. Exhale, sit back into a chair. So your weight is in your heels, your toes are lifted. And then lower through your hips, bring your belly button to your spine. Notice that you don't have this rounded, sassy back. Tuck your tailbone down. Give your shoulders a little space, so widen your hands further than your shoulders. Big breath in. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, pause. Bring your weight into the balls and toes of your body. Send your breath to the back of your legs. Exhale, fold. Plant your fingers, step your right foot back, your knee finds the earth. And then walk your hands up onto your left thigh. Let everything get heavy. We'll be here for a couple rounds of breath. Send it to the front of your right hip. One more full breath in. Exhale, lean forward, plant your palms, step your left foot back in line with your right, arriving in a tabletop position. We'll go through a few rounds of cat-cow here. Inhale, let your belly drop. Pull your chest through the gateway of your shoulders. Lift your face to the sky. Exhale, round through your spine. Make space between your shoulder blades.
Let the top of your head be heavy. Inhale, belly drops.
Gaze up. Exhale, round through your spine.
Option to close your eyes here. Move through a few more rounds at your own pace.
Notice any areas of tension.
If you found an area of tension, you might choose to linger there. It might be the same area every time we do this. It might be somewhere different. And finish up with your last round of cat-cow. And then we'll meet once again in our neutral table.
So we're going to come into a position that's a little bit like child's pose, but not quite. So child's pose is an option for you if you'd like to take that, but I'd really recommend having something underneath your knees. So you might turn sideways on your mat. Let your knees be really nice and wide, and then bring your shins in line with your knee so that when you look straight back, your shins go back. You're going to turn your feet out so that the big toe edge of your foot is on the mat, kind of like a frog. And just stay here. Now your knees and your hips are in one line on this plane. So just feel that stretch in your hips. You have the option of lowering down onto your forearms. Find what works for you. And just breathe into your hips. Keep that slow, steady breath. If this is really, really uncomfortable, you can always bring your big toes together and just find child's pose. It does similar things. One more inhale here. And slow exhale. If you're on your forearms, rise onto your palms. Slowly bring your knees a little bit closer towards one another. And then swing your legs off to one side. Find your sit bones once again. So we've done a reclined cobbler's pose. Now we'll do a seated cobbler's pose. So bring the soles of your feet together once again. You might wiggle your glutes out of the way. Let your sit bones find support. And then big breath in, find length in your spine. Send your knees down and away from one another. Exhale, begin to pull yourself forward. Keep that length in your spine for as long as you can. Pause when you found your edge. Send your breath to your inner thighs. And then exhale, round all the way. Let your chin tuck into your chest.
Let everything be heavy. Your arms can be passive out in front of your body. One last full inhale and slow exhale. Press into the tips of your fingers, push yourself back up.
Grab your knees on the outside and bring them towards one another. And then let your feet and your knees be as wide as your hips. We're going to round our spine, one last little release in between our shoulder blades. So thread your right fingers underneath your right calf on top of your left shin. Thread your left fingers underneath your left calf on top of your right shin. And then let your spine round. Feel that pull in between your shoulder blades. Let your chin tuck into your chest. And then continue sending your breath to that space in between your shoulder blades.
One more full breath in. Exhale, rise back up into your seat. Just find a cross-legged position, whatever's most comfortable for you. Pause with your shoulders over top of your hips. We'll do a little bit in our neck before we find Shavasana. Let your chin drop to your chest and just find a little sway from side to side, bringing one ear over one shoulder, transitioning back through center, other ear, other shoulder. Almost like a pendulum. Just let it sway the bottom. Move slowly, like you're exploring the sensations in the back and the side of your neck. And then the next time that one ear makes its way over one shoulder, keep this going. Draw your circle all the way around. Notice any clicking or popping at the back of your neck. That's okay. And then the next time that your chin makes its way to your chest, draw 2 full circles the other way. Now, in our circles, you may have noticed that moving slowly just allows you to notice when anything doesn't quite feel right. So if you found an area of tension, go there now, and we'll pause to stretch that area for 2 rounds of breath. And release your chin back to your chest. One last breath into your back. Exhale, lift your head, find a little smile, and begin to make your way down into your favorite Shavasana. If you have a bolster or something to place underneath your knees, please feel free. It's really relaxing for your low back. So you may or may not have heard of a muscle called your psoas. Your psoas is essentially the bridge that connects your upper body to your lower body, but it's a little bit of a finicky muscle. It hooks onto the inside of our spine at the front of our spine, and then it wraps through our hip and to the back of our thigh. So if we have tightness in our hamstrings in the back of our thigh, that can actually be pulling on the middle of our spine forward. So anytime that we try and straighten our leg all the way, we've got too much tightness and it creates tension and discomfort in our low back. So sometimes with our low back, it really helps to stretch our hips and our hamstrings to release that tension. But find what works for you today. If you are in a place where you have access to a wall, you can always try doing legs up the wall, and I'll show you what that looks like. So for me, I just have this nice, beautiful wall behind me, and I slide my hips up to the wall so that they're touching. Then I just slowly swing my legs all the way up and rest my heels on the wall. So my sit bones are as close as I can get them. So find that place that works for you if this is an option that you'd like to try, and just let your legs be heavy. This is really wonderful for relieving tension in your low back. It's incredibly calming for your nervous system because your body knows you're not going into battle if your legs are in the air. And it returns all of our stagnant blood and lymph fluid from our legs back into the trunk of our body. So take whatever variation you would like today for your Shavasana. And when you're ready, let your eyes close. Let go of any control over your breath. Bring a softness into the muscles of your face. Let the places where your body is touching the support beneath or behind you, let them become heavy.
Gravity is your friend. Gravity carries with it a lesson for us all. And that lesson is that you are worth being here. The very weight of your bones, your body, is telling you that you deserve to be here. Let that sink in as you rest today. Please stay as long as you can. Thank you for practicing with me. Namaste.